It might come up.
Oh, it might
Hi,
come up. Yeah.
how's everybody doing today? This is Valerie. That's Sarah. This is Illumination Portal. We are here to have a discussion again about how to cope through times of chaos because I've been guided by my guides to do this once a week to keep reminding people to whatever stay centered, stay in peace over this. I'm not trying to promote fear, but just to be put on in our world, and it's uh it's a good time to either get prepared or be prepared energetically first, and then once you're calm, of course, do what you need to for your vicinity, your household. What do you think, Sarah? Are you there, baby? Uh-oh. Sarah? There she is. Sarah, you there, babe?
I think that, yes, I think it's important to remember is that what we think and dwell in, we manifest. And that is, we support it happening. So we need not to buy into the negativity all around us. Anything that threatens our sense of safety and security, either physically or mentally, can be considered a traumatic event. This is what we will be facing over the next year or more, and we have to develop strategies to cope.
And
We're
that's
doing.
beautifully said. Um, don't there's no need to panic. We've been going through quite a bumpy ride roller coaster here for the last 5 to 10 years, and we're well, geez, we just came out of a pandemic, so we're just getting back on our feet, so to speak. But this isn't, it's just not over yet, and the planets indicate, especially Pluto. Pluto's coming through. America's first Pluto return is ongoing as of February, so there's going to be things coming up like the January 6th committee, things like that, to where it can just you can feel destabilized by that. So we want to discuss ways on how to keep our ourselves intact. Do you have any suggestions, Sarah?
Um, I think that we need to, which was touched on with Angela when you talked to her, stock up on essential items, food items. So have a staples pantry or box. Even over the counter medicines, like pain meds, cough medicine, vitamins, any of those sort of things. And I'm sure that Angela is going to have a channel where she can tell you a bit more about those things. Um, it's very important to safeguard our mental and emotional well being. Don't watch the news. It will
Right.
not only mess with your head, it will bring down your vibration quicker than a
Yeah,
stone thrown into water. You
yes.
only have, what did you say before, Valerie? You only have to watch how much?
It's
The news?
29 seconds, and you'll spiral down. And
29 seconds. Yeah, that's terrible. Anyway, things that I do to keep me vibrant and coping are not maybe things you might do. We'll all have our own lists. So I think right from the start, you think probably that you remember all the things you like to do. But if you're feeling really down, often we can forget what brings us joy. So write your own list and keep it either in your gratitude journal, if you have one, or somewhere where you can go and see it so that when you do feel down or you're in need of a lift, you can choose one of the things that you've already written down that you like. For me, I meditate And meditation is sometimes overwhelming for some people, isn't it, Valerie? Where they think they have to meditate for like an hour.
Yeah.
You can, of course, but you
Mhm.
could be as simple as a few deep breaths or relieving a comforting or reliving a comforting memory, even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many guided meditations are on YouTube, or just listen to some soothing meditation music. I also have fabulous dreams, which I think help to elevate um, our level of not only our level of consciousness, but also makes you feel happy. I listen to my favorite music that always makes you smile and feel good. I go outside as much as possible. I especially love the gardens and the ocean. Both are right on my doorstep.
Oh,
I
nice.
take classes, not too many at once, or you'll become overwhelmed. Learning something new is not only educational, it helps us to grow spiritually. Spend time in your hobby. Mine is loom knitting. Yours might be gardening, walking, painting, making cards, reading, whatever. Do the thing you want to do, but never seem to have time for. Mine is reading. I have all these books I want to read and cannot find the time and quiet to start. I'm going to commit to do that and set aside that time every day just to read. Dance to your favorite tunes, even if, like me, it's chair dancing. You will find you are smiling and feeling good inside in no time.
Yeah.
Draw or color. I have a tablet and I practice drawing on it. I also like coloring books and will color while listening to music or somebody talking. Making others smile is something I love to do, so I make soap as gifts and I knit scarves and hats, etc. Spirit told me to make sure we choose a couple of our online friends to send love and light to nurture and support them. We all look after each other. Isn't that important? We always have them in our core. So do not just make it a good idea, do it. I have a bubble bath when I want to relax. I have a chair lift that can take me right down in the bath. My whole body is in warm water and it's nice to be alone. I'll hear spirit there often. I wrote and say affirmations every day. They are life changing. The ones in the mirror are challenging, you know, to tell yourself you're beautiful and all of that. But after a while, they get easier and you start to believe them. Gratitude is vital. I keep a journal that's very uplifting to your spirit. There's no faster way to increase your vibration than gratitude. Find ways to reward yourself when you have accomplished something you wanted to get done. Be careful what you watch on YouTube. If it leaves you with hope, it's good. If it makes you frightened or gives you a down feeling, do not go there again. Watch a good comedy or whatever lifts your spirit. Do you find movies lift your spirit, Valerie, at all?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big movie person because although they have, but you're right about the comedy. Like I'll search a YouTube thing when I feel like I need a good laugh, something that I know is funny from a movie probably. But I, I'm always I'm always learning. That's my hobby though. It's like I like astrology and I like to dig in on the things I like to learn about. So that's how I spend my time. And in gratitude, I mean, you're so right about gratitude. Without being grateful for every moment, it just frees you immediately. If you sit there for like 30 seconds and name 30 things you're grateful for, I-
Oh, yeah. The first time I did it, I filled 3 pages,
yeah,
and I
and
didn't think I had that many things to be
yeah,
grateful for.
I know it. And it doesn't matter if you repeat it every day because there's things that I see or I have access to or I eat or drink that I'm very grateful for every day.
Mhm.
So yeah, that just automatically pulls you of a out of a down moment, because
Mhm.
they're very it's very easy to get trapped by just hearing something in the news or watching something that you wish you wouldn't have watched. And there you are thinking about this awful thing or whatever it is. So gratitude is the fast way to get it out of to
A
get out.
lot of the times too, I find people get in their little friendship groups,
Mm,
right? In
mm,
in in outside the computer, right? And they talk about all the stuff they saw in the news, the climate change, the war in Ukraine,
yeah,
this, that. Oh, what's the use of having a job? We're all just going to be killed,
yeah,
and I think when you do that, you're reinforcing to each other that there's no hope. And I think there's a lot of hope.
yeah. Now hope is huge, isn't it? Hope is huge
Hmm.
for us to get through this. Yeah, to go around and have your main conversations be about all the tragic things going on in the external. It's not helping anybody, and a lot of times it could be reinforcing that energy to even dig in deeper, because if that's what you perceive or and believe, that's what you end up living,
Hmm.
don't you think?
Exactly. I think I said that at the beginning, or I meant to say it. What we talk about, what is and think about is what we manifest, and that's what we support to happen. So instead, when you meet up with your friends, maybe you should talk about how can we give back to our own community,
Mm,
right? Could we help elderly people in our community? Could we volunteer somewhere, right? Like, make your conversations more about action and positivity
yeah,
rather than all the bad things that are happening, which make you feel that you can't do anything to
yeah,
change things,
yeah,
right? But we can do a lot,
yeah.
I think.
Oh, I do too, because once you feel powerless, you really get yourself stuck in a rut. But if you sit there and you come at it from, well, what is it I can do for your community locally?
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's so many um, organizations that need help or volunteers, or I mean, the list goes on and on. And I'm with you. I'd rather be part of the solution than adding to the problem. I think we've been conditioned,
Absolutely.
you know, to to just kind of repeat constantly what the news says, and that conditioning needs to disintegrate and bust up. And the only way to do that is by doing something else, something the opposite of what you're thinking or
Mhm.
watching or seeing. So it's really important to control what comes into your awareness, what it is you focus on and you hear. And even I might irritate some people around me because they'll say something in a negative way, and I'll say, but isn't it better to see it or say it like this instead of doom and gloom, you know? But that's the only way we're going to do it is if we help each other, remind somebody in the moment.
I think
With,
it's important that we are not um, not acknowledging that there are tough times
Right.
or that these tough times are going to increase in the next couple of years. We are acknowledging that. But what we are trying to say is that rather than feel that we're defeated,
Right.
is get ahead of it and work out strategies that are going to work for you to keep you safe, keep you fed, keep you happy, right? And keep your vibration up
Yeah.
so that you can be a help to somebody else. The bottom line to me is love. To love
Yeah.
ourselves first and to love others and to not buy into that human drama building and happening on earth,
Mhm.
which is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's harder to stay out of it,
Yeah. It
right?
really is.
But a lot of young people live in apartment buildings. There could be somebody in their building that's an elderly person who might be grateful of a little bit of help,
Yeah.
and I think for every blessing that we give another person, we also get blessed. Not that we're looking for that, but I think, and it can come from anywhere. It doesn't, even just that person you helped, if they're grateful and happy, oh, to me, I know in my heart wells up more with love and makes me feel so happy,
Yeah.
right? And that's because they liked what I did.
Yeah.
So if everybody had that attitude, think how different the world would be.
And you're so right. And when you have that feeling, Sarah, it radiates out. So it goes
Mm.
out and people feel that, instead of that harsh reality or what, we're told reality is, this is going on and this is awful and the sky's falling and what are we going to do? And then, instead of repeating that, do something kind, you
Well,
know.
we've been warned that things might happen politically that we don't like,
Right.
that we don't want, but also things will happen that we do like and we do want.
Yeah.
So we have to hold strong that we're going to come through this and that good is always going to come out on top of evil. And that's what I feel. And I
I,
don't want to give up that hope.
no, me either. And just by watching the news, you become hopeless and you become
Mm-hmm.
defeated. When I used to always say this, where's the good news channel at? Where's the good news channel? I don't know where, but then we have YouTube now, right? So we can pick and choose. Again, it's our awareness and it's our
Mm-hmm.
choice to put ourselves and our energy in the vibration that we desire and prefer to have instead of being broadcast to all this doom and gloom. That's really, and I think a lot of people get stuck there on where to make the choice because you hear this eh, crazy story and it draws you in, and it's just, from the news, and then the next thing you know, you're feeling,
Yeah, humans seem to gravitate towards that, don't they? They want to, they gravitate towards the sensational and the horrific and that kind of thing. And I think um, if you're going to watch YouTube, which I said a little while ago, it isn't that readers, most that I know, aren't going to tell you the truth, but they're not going to leave you with despair
yeah,
because that isn't how life works. There will always be hope,
Mhm.
right? We will always get through this.
Yeah,
And if you're not getting that part of a reading, then you're in the wrong place.
true. Yeah,
That's what I think.
the human spirit is so resilient. And if we just look back on history and see what our ancestors came through, you know, to look at what we're going through today and just just have that knowing that we've pulled through it before, we'll pull through it again, and we'll be better for it.
And
And
it's not new, right?
no,
As
it's not.
far back as you can look in history, people have gone through some of the most horrific times ever, right? And the world hasn't stopped. The world's gone on. But let's hope that with more enlightened people in the world, we can actually start to change things for the better. We have to, that's why we want you to live in a higher vibration, to be more enlightened people and more loving, to send out that love, to be what you speak, to forgive people, love them, send them love, send them light, right? That's the way we change the earth's vibration.
Exactly. And thank you for bringing that up because I didn't even state that at the beginning. This channel is a spiritual channel dedicated to help assisting in raising the vibration from Mother Earth by helping us remember how to raise our own vibrations. And that's how I live my life. I know that's how you live your life. And we've trained ourselves. I mean, it wasn't just something that all of a sudden fell upon us and we were, oh, I'm better, I'm in a higher vibration. No, it takes work every day. It takes
Mm-hmm.
every day to say the choice of what am I going to ingest, meaning news and media, but and food. Am I going to eat the healthier foods? It have some vitamins, drink a lot of water, all these things. Do try to walk a little bit, do some exercise. All these things really do help you continue. It's like a snowball effect. You do, and you just
Mm-hmm.
constantly do it all throughout the day, and the next thing you know, that's the only way you do things is
And we're
by
not without power with climate change either.
no.
We can start loving our earth better.
Mm,
We can make better choices when we go to the supermarket. We can
yes.
make better choices with what kind of materials we bring into our homes. If you have a backyard, plant a garden, apartment like I do, then go out, hug a tree, and tell it you love it. Go to the
Yeah.
garden, speak to the flowers, right? Tell them that you appreciate they came out this year. Some people might
Mhm.
think that's stupid, but I think trees and flowers and grass and all of those things are living,
Yeah.
and we can communicate with them. And they've shown that people who talk to their plants in their house, the plants actually have done better. They grow
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
because they feel loved. Talk to
Yeah.
your pets, right? Love them, all of that. I think, appreciate, tell Mother Earth that you love her and that you appreciate all that she gives you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine if that got spread all over the world and we all did it. what
right.
a change it could make.
Really. I mean, I'm not sure. I think it was yesterday was Earth Day, or is it
All
today?
right. I don't
But
know.
really, I mean, every day is Earth Day, though. Is what I want to
Not
say.
just one day of the
Right,
year.
right. Because look what Mother Earth. I mean, without her, we couldn't live. We wouldn't have all the things we have around us without Mother Earth.
Mhm.
And and like you said, sending love to the plants and the trees and doing a garden and all of that. Every little tiny thing of love, giving love to something, just I mean, it just makes you feel better. You start to just see that in your
Mhm.
everyday life. If I'm in a loving, grateful space, and those are my choices, and the things that I ingest, and the things that I watch or listen to, all are in alignment with those choices. I, I that's how my life is, and it literally is like that. I'm just so blessed and grateful
I
for
don't
all
I
of it.
don't know if you remember that movie, The Power of One. And I always think, yes, we shouldn't think, oh, well, my contribution doesn't matter,
No.
because the power of one is very powerful, because you can go on and inspire someone else, they'll go on and inspire someone,
Mm.
and or more than one person, and it goes on and on like that. One person can make a huge difference.
Yeah, and this is sadly a lot of the things that we're talking about have come from programming or societal programming where you're told you don't make a difference. Your opinion or thought doesn't matter, or whatever. It could be anything that we see in the world. So a lot of people lose that faith in that ability of themselves. So this is why I think that was on your list too. It is so important to go inside, meditate, love yourself, and accept yourself, and realize that you are a free, sovereign being of love that lives for eternity. And, right now you're in the body of Sarah or Valerie or Stephanie or whoever, but that's the temporary thing. But still, the thing that puts us all together is that unconditional love of the
Mhm.
cosmos. It's just a beautiful thing. And if we
And when
could,
you don't,
go ahead,
sorry, Valerie,
go ahead.
when you're not feeling that love, like when you get behind somebody that's, you know, irritating the living daylights out of you, do that little, 10-second meditation where you just
Mm,
breathe deep, breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in. And you know what? When you do that a few times, breathe in deep, hold it, and breathe it out. That feeling of irritation goes,
it really does. It really does.
right?
Yeah. And it's all reprogramming ourselves. We're deprogramming what the things that were not meant to be life affirming in any way, and reprogramming to be of life and love
Mm.
in a more in every moment. It just becomes such an easy way to easier, more beautiful, lovely, gorgeous way to go through your day is being in that vibration. And I'm not trying to sit here and say all this woo woo stuff is going to save you, but really, what has all the detrimental stuff we listen to and hear on a daily basis? What has that done for our society? Everything is pretty disastrous out there because, in my opinion, we weren't brought up to be treated as a sacred, and all life as sacred. We were disposable a lot of times. Or war, war is very disposable. Oh wow, all these people died for us, and that's
Or we
just
were brought up to be selfish,
yeah.
right? A lot of things I've noticed teach people you're more important than everybody else, and you're this, or you're like, to make everyone look inwardly all the time. And that is too far the other way. It's detrimental.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how our society has been structured is that there's always a hierarchy, and then it
Mm,
goes down when we should have a it would be more beneficial if we all came at it as a round table thing. We're all equal here. We're all valuable. We're all made of this divine consciousness, and we all deserve to be in joy and love.
well, in the higher source, whatever you want to call it, whether it be God or Buddha or light or sparkles, um, you know, we we are everything to them, right? They love us unconditionally. They love everything about us, even when they're trying to correct us with something.
Hmm.
So, we should give that love back out to people too. But so often we get busy, we get short tempered, whatever. And, just short tempered or, telling somebody off, right? But if that happens to me, I always feel really bad.
Yeah.
And, I pull myself up and say, well, why am I doing that? That's, not how I want to be. Um,
That's the hard part. The hard part is we reprogramming ourselves from
mhm,
this old way of behaving. If someone doesn't listen to me or they're not fast enough, I'm very impatient. I've been working on patience, and I've been working on trying to take the sacred pause. Just take that breath, take that pause. Stephanie, stay in balance.
oh,
Everything in
yeah, absolutely.
balance and
Stephanie.
moderation, right?
Mhm.
And it is. It's not something we were taught young, and I do think children now are being um, brought up a little differently in these concepts. Where fairness and balance, and we're all equal. Really, there's no
Mhm.
hierarchy. And for us who are older, about we're shedding all that toxicity to bring in the the beautiful joy that we always wanted, but we didn't see it around us. We didn't know how to implement it into our own lives. It took me a while to learn that. I figured
The
out.
the the happier we can become, and the higher our vibration, the more we attract other people to us. And that's how it spreads, because they want to be with people that make them feel good,
Hmm.
that feel at peace, that feel happy, that don't seem to worry about things. They want that. It's like, when you see someone really happy and dancing around, you think, I want what she's having, right? And that's how other people react when you're always walking in the light. they want to be there too. So that's really what we want to spread.
Absolutely. I mean that is and the thing is, you can see it now more that people are looking for, they're becoming more spiritual, or more into nature, or into crystals, and reading the cards and burning sage or whatever, having that ceremony with yourself in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. I do a little ceremony in the morning where I'm grateful to Mother Earth, and I bless the water, air, and the soil, and all life on her, every molecule. And I mean, it takes 10, what'd that take? 5 seconds to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel great getting out of bed. Now, I couldn't have said that to you 5 years ago, really.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a lot of pain. I hurt, and it's hard, especially if someone has a disease, an illness, or pain,
Mm-hmm.
to get yourself into
I know. I know.
that positivity, but it does. It takes meditation, wouldn't you say? If you're having pain.
Absolutely. And when I wake up in pain, I have to make my head say, put your leg over the side. I have to, you know,
Mhm.
so it makes sense then to take a few seconds to say those prayers before you get up. You might get up easier, hey?
Right, yeah, because I mean it is. It's there were many times I couldn't get out of the bed, and I you when you're, it's, bedridden or in a lot of pain and can't move, you really do just start meditating. At least that's how it worked for me, because
Mm-hmm.
being mad, being frustrated, being angry, you know, that didn't help. That didn't help anything. But the meditation helped. Going inside and telling all my cells, you know, how much I love them, and I'm so grateful for them. And it really does. It takes time, but it'll help alleviate that extreme, pain where you're stuck. You um, there's been so many things that I just learned just by just by experimenting. I wouldn't have known any of that without being first in pain, to learn how to help myself alleviate the pain. I would have never been able, I would have
Mm-hmm.
never understood those concepts. So it just is,
And help other people through the
yeah,
knowledge that you learnt by doing that,
yeah,
right?
because how else, but people will look at you like you're crazy, and I'm like, try it. I was serious. I couldn't move, I really couldn't. And it, to me, it was like this: I will try anything for 30-day experiment. I would try different vitamins or different
Mm-hmm.
minerals or different approaches to exercise. I couldn't really exercise, but I would do small things, laying in the
Mm-hmm.
bed. Um, there's always hope, like you said. Let's bring it back to hope. There is so much hope. And once you prove some of these things to yourself, then you have faith, and then you trust in the universe,
Mm-hmm.
or the creator of all that
Mm-hmm.
is, or whatever name you want to give this consciousness, you know and and then the more you have that trust and that faith in, you really, in the gratitude, I mean, it is all around you all of a sudden. And it seems strange to kind of explain it like that, but that's how it worked for me. It was really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty powerful, really.
It was. And I mean, I'm really so grateful. That's why, like, I say this in the morning, I'm grateful for every second of my life, all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I don't even know how to express how it makes you feel. Like everything is more than tolerable. It's enjoyable for me now. Where before I would have never saw any of that joy. I didn't see it. Couldn't have convinced me in any way, shape, or form until, as all of us do, we go through those dark periods and we come up through it, and that creator is there, the universe is there.
What do they say? That necessity is the mother of invention.
Mm,
So when you have to find a way to help you with your pain, then you're willing to look outside the box more,
mm,
like you did, and research things and try things until you found something that worked,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I would hope everybody does that for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
On some level, something that, because I know there are a lot of people struggling, whether it's with pain or illness or disease or lack. Lack is a hard one, lack of money, lack of resources. And I honestly don't have like money per se, but I feel like the wealthiest person in the world because I have I have peace,
I
joy.
think it's a bit like what we said at the beginning, that what we think and
Mm,
dwell in, we
mm,
manifest.
yeah.
So if we focus too much on lack of,
Mm,
the universe thinks that we like that we want lack
mm,
of, right?
mhm,
Because that's where we're thinking all the time.
yeah,
So we have to get out of that.
yeah.
And that can be really difficult for a lot of people.
It is.
But
It
they
is.
need to, you know, look at it completely differently and be grateful for what they do have and build from there. And it will come.
And that's 100% correct. That's the key. Being grateful for where you're at in this moment, it
Mm-hmm.
opens all the doors for you. That
Mm-hmm.
gratitude really opens all the doors for you, and it's not because, oh, I'm gonna say I'm grateful just to get something I want. It's not even about that, because once you're at that level of the pain and misery and living in lack, you really you are, at least this is how I felt. I felt defeated. I felt like I would never get out of it, you know, and little by little, just trying different things. And the gratitude, really, I'm grateful for everything. It's amazing how you can pull yourself through.
Yeah. I think too, thanking our angels and
Mhm.
guides and our higher source, when things go right or we have a lovely time, like say you had that irritating person in the queue and you did that deep breathing little mini meditation
Mhm.
and it totally took away your irritation, then I will always say thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know, if you
Yeah.
get in the habit of that, because our guides do like to feel that we're thankful and grateful to them for all the things and
Yeah.
our angels, right? Um,
Absolutely.
just like you thank your friend, right? If they did
Mhm.
something nice for you, then we should thank them too,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
getting in that habit.
Yes, definitely. Saying thank you. I think I was trained, I worked as a waitress bartender, so I said thank you quite often. And it
Mhm.
this how I am.
Yeah.
I say it to everybody, but I mean, I did that for 40 years. It just is who you are after a
Right.
while. You know, you're just thank you, you know. But it does, and people. I've seen it. Just saying thank you to people make people. You could see it on their face. It made a huge difference to how they were feeling in that moment.
Such a simple thing, even a smile
Yeah.
can change a person, like make a difference in their life. Just smiling at a stranger down the
Mhm.
street.
Mhm.
Um, I've had that happen to me, and I've smiled at other people, and I think it just makes them feel, oh, people, people aren't that bad, really,
Yeah, right.
after
Look,
all.
yeah. And isn't that sad? Because I mean, Diana has something here. Oil painter, lack of support. I mean, it's sad that we look and we view at the most of the outside world like to be almost like a threat. You know, like it's you go out there, you got to kind of watch everything, and I mean, that's at least that's how I used to feel. Um, and I think so many people just keep to themselves and keep their head down and they don't
Mhm.
smile because they just don't feel like they belong or they have support or they, you know, I don't know. I don't,
Or
maybe
they're afraid of engaging, right?
afraid. Yeah.
Because maybe they've had a bad experience before where
Mm,
they've looked at someone and the person said, "What are you looking at?" Right? You
yeah.
know how people do.
Yeah.
So they try really hard not to look at anybody. Or
Yeah.
they're just really broken and sad.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Um,
think that all of us here are intuitives and empaths and we can feel that off of people, and I've
mhm.
always would feel that and do something to help a person feel at, at least safe in my presence, that you're safe and you're cared for with me. And that's another thing, that's part of support. If we just did that out in our days, our daily comings and goings, and you give those people that smile and you give those that feeling of, you know you're safe, you're uh, safety and
I
security.
know some of you know how people beg in the street. I don't know if you have any of them there, but we do. If I have time and it's a quieter area, I've asked them sometimes, "What's your story?"
Hmm.
And when you hear their story, you just say, "Wow." And for me, I think I wished I could help them more then,
Yeah.
right? And I just give them as much as I can give them, right?
Yeah.
And I make sure that if I keep seeing them, that I say hello and ask them how they
Hmm.
are and things like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Um, because we don't know these people's story. We walk past them maybe a lot, and we might wonder why they're begging, and we don't know. And my husband said to me once, "Why do you give to these people?" He said, "What if they're not genuine?" And I said, "It doesn't matter, because once it's left my hand, it's in their responsibility,
That's right.
right? To do the right thing with it or not.
Hmm.
But they have to answer for that to the
Yeah.
universe, right? Not
Yeah.
me."
Yeah.
So, there's probably some that aren't genuine, but those that are, um, they need to be respected that they are.
Yeah. Absolutely. Is
And
there are
unless
there
you, yeah.
I'm sorry, are there shelters around you? Or is there a place for those?
Where I think, like in the States where you are,
Mm,
there are a growing number of homeless people. It's
yeah.
getting bigger and bigger because there's a rent shortage and the
Mm,
rents have gone up. And so rents are very expensive, getting very expensive. And so a lot of them, I don't think the social security benefits is very high at all.
Not here. Mm-mm.
So, it's not enough to live on.
No, and this kind of goes around full circle because these type of things where people are working two jobs, can't and living out of their
Mm.
car because you can't afford the rent. You've been priced out
Mhm.
everywhere, pretty much throughout the country too.
Yeah, the
Um,
working poor.
yeah, and they pushed it as far as they can. When I say they, I'm talking about those that claim they're in power and can, you know,
Mhm.
governing us. It's going to be pushed, and it's going to be very difficult to see because a lot of people, I know too many people out there where I mean, there's literal like parking lot areas where the people who are living out of their vehicles, those that are lucky enough to have a vehicle, let me say it like that,
Mhm.
and they're like a almost like a parking campground type thing.
I
And
know, it's a real problem, isn't it?
yeah, and it's just you look at a place like America, that freedom, and
And
anybody
you
here
look at
can
it as
go.
being wealthy, don't you? A
Yeah,
wealthy
and
country.
oh, yeah, most of it is not wealthy. Most people are working poor, struggling. Or I don't even think there's really a middle class left because you have the the one the people who can are working with a roof over their head, I guess, would be considered the middle class now. And then there's wealthy, but the poor, the working poor is just, it's unbelievable. Some of the stories I've heard and the people I've seen, and that takes everybody in our nation to come together to say this isn't right. People should have their basic needs, their basic necessities. Maslow's hierarchy. I can't say the word.
Yeah.
You know, you need a roof over your head. You need basic food and
It's a
shelter.
right of every
Yeah,
human,
yeah,
not a luxury,
right.
isn't it?
And how did it get to this point? And this is
Mhm.
where it gets frustrating when co- you look around and you see how far the down in the hole we went as a society, based on what those that are supposed to be looking out for us decided, you know, and here we are
Mhm.
today. So we have a rent that is increased so far. It's out of a lot of people's ability to do. But who does that? Who raises the rent during a pandemic? I mean, what kind of is that
Well,
the
we
culture
had
we
rent
want to live in?
control here
Oh, see,
when the
don't care.
pandemic was on, but
Mm,
the landlords say that by doing rent control, you make it so the landlords can't do repairs or upgrades. So, they have an argument against rent control. But I think it still comes back to it's every country's duty to take care of their people,
yes.
right? And we're
Yes.
failing. That love thing, when I said that before, the bottom line is love. And I believe that's why we're put on earth, is to love one another, and we fail miserably. And we
Yeah.
need to turn that around. We have to start loving each other
Yeah.
and accepting each other. We're members of earth. We shouldn't keep saying, oh, we're white people, we're black people, or we're Africans,
Mm,
or we're, English people. We all belong on earth. We all inhabit this planet. So we need to look out, not only look after the planet, but we need to look after each other.
Right.
And it starts with loving each other. And when you love each other, you care about them,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you know, like if any of us were homeless, I'm sure if any of us had anything to offer, we would,
Yes.
right? That, you know, so I just, I'm, I really don't understand governments that don't look after them.
I don't either. And that's, that is a big thing. Okay, I'm going to end it with Pluto coming through because to to Pluto, when our United States of America's first Pluto return is coming through, Pluto is looking at it saying, so what have you done since the last time I was here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Pluto's he's full of integrity, truth, honesty, for all, not just for some. That's how it got to be America, in a lot of respects, was because that Pluto going through there was, this is for all, for the people, by the people. So I
Mm-hmm.
think we're going to really see a lot of that these next this next year or two. But at the end of it, this is not to stress anybody out or upset anybody, but through chaos comes change, and
Mm-hmm.
at the end of that, we will be in a better space than we are now. I bet you we come back in a couple years and we're talking about it. We don't see the level of homelessness and poverty that
Mm-hmm.
we do now. Now, do I think it's all going to be healed and better? No, but I think we'll be on a really good start trajectory out of that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it is
I
my
agree.
it is my hope for humanity that we get it together and love each other and support each other, and nobody should go without a home, without their basic needs. You know.
So our challenge to everybody out there is to start loving the people in your neighborhood. See what you can do to help, even if it's just in your building or your neighbor, you know, show
Well,
them some love.
yeah, or there's a lot of stray pets, a lot of animals need help.
Mm.
People, and we all need it. We all need love, need help, helping hand, a warm bed, a nice roof over your head, and even that goes for all life on Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do start local. A lot of times you don't even really have to. You can do a lot of help online these days. You could
But
volunteer.
we have our own online community. We can
Yeah,
help love each other within that.
yeah. I mean, it's just beautiful. How life has unfolded the last few years is beautiful. And if I know it can happen to me, who was never believed any of this would ever be possible for me, I know it can be possible for every person on
Mm-hmm.
on this planet. Well, Sarah, I appreciate you coming and talking to me and helping people, giving some ideas.
Well, thank you, Valerie, for having me on. I
Is there
hope
any?
there was something in there that somebody can use.
Oh goodness, yeah, I love it all. The gratitude, the list. I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. Let me see what Oil Penny said. We are the people in your neighborhood. As Sesame Street prophesies. So good. Yeah, we are. We are the people in your neighborhood. Is there
Mm.
anything else you wanna leave with, or
No, I just want people to step out and love the people around them. Really love them.
I agree with you, Sarah. Love is the answer.
Hmm.
And with that, we love you. and we'll see you next time. Be safe
Bye
out
bye,
there.
everyone.
Bye.